Go.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel, and today I would like to talk to you about entheogenic-assisted psychotherapy, or in layman's terms, using hallucinatory drugs in a medical workspace. Now, do me a favor and stare at this GIF or whatever for the remainder of the slide. Today I will be primarily talking about LSD and psilocybin used in a non-conventional way. I will also be lightly touching upon MDMA because it's technically a hallucinatory drug, even though its use is based off of their effects. You can stop staring at the GIF and decide to stare at something else. Congratulations, you have now just experienced a low dose of LSD. Now, the way some people try to consume this substance, or a way they try to choose to use this substance, is by taking a very small amount called a microdose. Now, the goal of this is to reap any possible benefits without actually being intoxicated, hence the microdose. People in Silicon Valley have claimed that it makes them more creative, alert, and they can solve problems easier. Alright, clinical research. Johns Hopkins Hospital is at the forefront of psychedelic research. It's also the earliest, starting in 2001. And their goal is just to see how psychedelics affect people scientifically. The Beckley Foundation. The Beckley Foundation has started doing psilocybin clinical research as of the start of this year. They focus primarily on alcoholism and cigarette addiction, and they have been found currently to that it helps decrease that, or it helps with that, at least in a way. However, they're still doing trials, so nothing is concrete just yet. And here are two other ones which I wasn't able to find much on, but they are registered. Alright, MAPS stands for the Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies. The drug they are researching is MDMA, and the people they're using it on is soldiers with PTSD. Now, what MDMA does is, at a full dose, it depletes all the serotonin in your brain. And when you deplete all the serotonin in your brain, almost like pushing a gas pedal, you feel profound ecstasy, hence the street name ecstasy. Now, what these soldiers are doing is, with a therapist, they are taking a low dose or a medium dose, and they are reliving their past traumas, and hopefully, with some help, they're able to overcome it. And this one has been the most successful. The FDA has passed the first two phases. They're on phase 3 right now. Phase 4 would be legalizing it for medical use. The FDA has labeled MDMA a breakthrough science, or a breakthrough therapy, for 2 years in a row. Alright, psilocybin. You can read the effects here, mental and physical, but what I really want to focus on is this right here, which shows normal brain activity in day-to-day life, and when you consume psilocybin, how your brain activity, obviously there's more activity going on. Now, we don't know what this means for sure, which is why the Beckley Foundation is currently researching it right now. Currently, in the year 2020, we have an organization called Decriminalize California trying to decriminalize psilocybin in California. They need roughly a little more than 500,000 signatures, and as of right now, they just need 25% more signatures. But due to the current pandemic, everyone is trying to practice social distancing, so we are trying to get online digital signatures right now, which is a whole nother bill that needs to be passed. 25% 22 bills have not been passed yet because of the pandemic. That was a little off topic, but we'll bring it back. The dangers. I feel, as your informer, that I have to tell you not just the pros or possible pros, but the cons as well. For example, MDMA, even though it's doing the best right now, if you take a full dose, 2 full doses within a month span, you may get something called serotonin syndrome, which affects mood, which in day-to-day life you need. Imagine it like this. Imagine pressing down the gas pedal for 100 miles when you only have less than a tank of gas in your car. Imagine what that would do to the car. That's serotonin syndrome. High levels of psilocybin, way more than the recommended dose, could lead to PTSD, extreme anxiety, and possible psychotic break if you have a family history of schizophrenia. Now, the solution we could do for these, if you have to use them or you want to use them, I'm not going to control what you do. Always research what you are going to consume in your body. Never take more than the average dose, and always have someone sober with you. As long as you practice harm reduction, you should be fine. But I'm not a doctor. Thank you so much for listening, and stay safe.